Hey everyone, welcome to Tim's Vinyl Confessions. I'm Tim Durling. I thank you very, very much for watching. On this episode, I'm going to go through the vinyl collection of one of Canada's finest rock and rollers, Kim Mitchell. Done episodes on his stuff before. I've done Max Webster episodes, but this one is just going to be focusing on Kim Mitchell's vinyl. I think I did an episode on his vinyl a long time ago, one of my earliest, and I didn't even have everything. So this is, as far as I know, as complete as you will find, because not all of his albums are on vinyl, and there aren't that many of them. So we'll get started on this episode of Tim's Vinyl Confessions, Kim Mitchell vinyl. Start off with 1982, his debut after the, I guess the dissolution of Max Webster. It was kind of a long, protracted progress. For more about that, I'd highly recommend getting Martin Popoff's book, Live Magnetic Hair. The Unlikely Saga of the Superlative Max Webster tells their story brilliantly, and eventually, of course, he went solo. 1982, self-titled EP. Speaking of Martin, he's called this his favorite EP of all time. I would tend to agree. It's pretty darn good. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it is really just 5 killer songs. Of course, only 5 songs. Great big song titles written here. This is a Canadian issue on Anthem Records. I don't think this was issued anywhere else in the world on vinyl. And because it's on Anthem, it's got a very familiar looking label if you grew up in Canada, especially if you're a Rush fan or a Max Webster fan. So his first full-length solo album came out in 1984. Did very, very well for him. Gave him a couple hit singles. It's a Kimbo logo, and some of you may be looking at this thinking, that's not the album cover I remember. There are 2 album covers for this, and I don't really know if one is more rare than the other, although I tend to see this one less. And this, of course, is a Canadian issue on Alert Records. This is actually a Columbia House issue of a Kimbo logo. Lyric sleeve inside of it. Kind of created a logo for him there. Little drawing. And there's, yeah, it's kind of neat. There's little drawings of him in different poses after each of the song titles. Of course, you know, one of his signature songs, Go for a Soda, came off of this album. Also, All We Are, big hit ballad, Feel It Burn. This is a great, great album, all the way through Lager and Ale. By this time, he had split from Anthem Records, as did his manager, Tom Barry. Tom Barry used to be part of the Anthem Records group, but he split, formed his own label called Alert Records. I think it's safe to say Kim Mitchell was the biggest artist on this label. Now, this album was issued internationally on Bronze Records, so it actually did get an international release. Not as likely to find the international releases. And I have to give a shout out to my friend Todd Last, for sending me this, because this is the more commonly, I think, at least my experience, the more commonly seen album cover for a Kimbo logo. This one here. Maybe it's because he's smoking, I don't know. Wearing his, you know, Ontario Provincial Police hat. That is what in this instance OPP stands for. Yeah, this is a big album for him. Got the red on it there. And this is also a Canadian issue on Alert. Great production on this too. Kim produced this with the late Nick Blagona. Really, really good sound. And basically the same inner sleeve. And the record looks about the same too. Now, just got to thinking, I wonder if, no, they are the exact same BD1001, exact same serial number. So you can't tell just by seeing a serial number what cover you've got. Interesting. Next one, another big album for him. It might even be a little bit more successful than a Kimbo logo. I'm not sure. I just know that this album was around a lot. 1986, Shaken Like a Human Being. This contained another one of his signature songs, Patio Lanterns. It also contained Easy to Tame. It's a good album all the way through. Another really good sounding album too. He produced this himself. And this album actually came out in the States on Atlantic Records, believe it or not. This is a Canadian issue on Alert, and it's a Columbia House as well. Lyric sleeve, now there's his Writing partner is lyricist Pi Dubois, real name Paul Woods. And all the lyrics. Not really any customization on this. Just this usual alert label. It was 3 more years before the next Kim Mitchell album came out in 1989. This was the second of the 2 albums that he had on Atlantic Records in the US. He never really caught on in the States for whatever reason, but you know, pretty well known in Canada, obviously. Rockland. This is a Hugh Syme album cover. You may have ascertained that. It's got that weathered stone look like the Bon Jovi, New Jersey, and the Whitesnake albums. Looks pretty cool. This is a Canadian issue on Alert, and it's a Columbia House issue as well. 2 big singles off this, Rock and Roll Duty and Rockland Wonderland, all one word. Picture of Kim there, and the lyrics. And there is the label. And this is also the only, I don't see a lot of Kim Mitchell 45s. I've actually got a picture sleeve here of Rockland Wonderland. B-side is Oh Mercy Louise, just another song from the album, and similar looking on the record label itself. The next one I was quite surprised to find, because number 1, I didn't know it came out on vinyl, and number 2, I would have thought it was rare. I actually found this good old Dexter's Flea Market in Moncton. I think I found this about 6 years ago. 1990, Kim Mitchell's live album, I Am a Wild Party, RAH-RAH-OLE. This is just a retail edition on Alert, Canadian obviously. I don't think it came out anywhere else. But yeah, I was kind of did a double take when I saw this in the record rack. So, oh, that's, of course I got to buy it. And blank on this side, and there's a little bit of credits here. You know, Kim Mitchell is such a Canadian, you know, icon, and it lists all of the cities he performed in, and they, you know, on this tour he came pretty close to me. He played in Fredericton, but yeah, all over Canada, one end to the other, and I think that's why he's so beloved. And record itself. So yeah, by 1990 you weren't seeing a lot of, you know, vinyl releases in North America, especially, like, you know, smaller indie Canadian labels. So this was a really, really cool thing to find. And as far as I know, the only other Kim Mitchell vinyl is actually the last thing he's put out, which came out at the tail end of 2020, the big Fantasize. And this came out on El Macambo Records, the same as Coney Hatch's Live at the El Macambo. Now there's a connection there because Kim Mitchell produced the debut Coney Hatch album. This is a kind of a mellower album, but you know, it's kind of a mood album. You put it on, and then there's some older songs he did in studio. And this is one of those ones that, you know, honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of the album. I bought the CD when it first came out, but, you know, I kind of got the feeling like if you don't buy this on vinyl, it's going to become very rare, very expensive, so you should buy it while it's available. So that's why I got it. Now, you know, albums he's put out like Oral Fixations, Ain't Life Amazing, I'd like to see vinyl releases for those too, and who knows, maybe some Canadian company, or you know, he did achieve popularity in other parts of the world. Maybe somebody else, like Night of the Living Vinyl or a company like that, might reissue some of those later albums from him. But for now, I think I can safely say that's all the Kim Mitchell solo vinyl as far as albums go. I know there's singles too. So I know we got some Kim Mitchell and Max Webster fans out there. Am I missing anything? Let me know. And thanks for watching Tim's Vinyl Confessions.